Welcome to today's Explainer. I'm really glad you're here for this one because today we are diving into something that literally strikes right at the heart of every single parent. We're talking about how to confidently handle a single worrying incident between your child and a classmate. If you have ever felt paralyzed, sitting there wondering if you have to wait for your kid to be harmed again before stepping in, take a deep breath. You are absolutely not alone. Let's look at why waiting for next time can actually fail our kids and what we really should be doing instead.
So, picture this, because sadly, it's a reality for way too many families. Your kid comes home from school, drops their backpack by the door, and they just look shaken, right? They describe this terrifying moment where a classmate cornered them in the hallway, threatened them, and said, "If you tell anyone, tomorrow will be worse." Man, your heart just drops. You want to protect them right this very second, but you also want to handle the whole thing carefully. And so you ask the most natural question in the world. Hey, has this happened before? And your child says, no, this is the very first time. Instantly, you feel this massive wave of hesitation. We've all been conditioned to think that for something to officially be bullying, it absolutely must be repeated. You don't want to overreact, and you definitely don't want to cause some massive school crisis over one bad day. So you think, maybe we just wait and see. But let's take a look at how the experts actually define this. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and StopBullying.gov, bullying is unwanted aggressive behavior involving a power imbalance that is repeated multiple times or, and this is the absolutely crucial part here, is highly likely to be repeated. That one single phrase changes the whole shebang. It means a single incident can absolutely be bullying if there's a real credible potential for it to happen again.
This is honestly a massive paradigm shift. A lot of us treat the word repeated like a simple counting rule. Looking backward, we think, okay, once is a conflict, twice is bullying. But that's just not practical at all. We need to look forward. We need to assess the future risk. Are the conditions that made that first incident possible still there? Was there a clear threat? Does that other kid still have easy access to yours on the bus or maybe online? Repetition isn't just about history. It's about credible future risk. Now, I really wanted to reassure you here. You do not have to immediately declare this single incident as undeniable bullying, and you certainly don't have to dismiss it completely either. You don't have to choose between two extreme reactions. You can simply say, look, I don't know exactly how the school is going to classify this, but what happened matters, and we are going to respond. The label itself is not the emergency. Immediate safety is.
Which brings us to a really common mistake that we, as well-meaning parents, make all the time. We tell our kids, well, if it happens again, then tell me. Our intention is totally good. We just want to avoid unnecessary drama. But the hidden message a frightened child actually hears is, the first time wasn't enough. I literally have to get hurt again before adults will actually step in and help. They might just stop reporting it to you altogether. Instead, tell them they did the exact right thing by telling you now, and that we absolutely do not need to wait for a next time to prioritize their safety. Okay, here's another huge mistake. Thinking repetition means the exact same action happening over and over in the exact same place. It actually rarely works like that in real life. On Monday, a threat gets whispered. On Tuesday, they're excluded from the lunch table. On Wednesday, a mean post goes up. And on Thursday, the kid just stares at them and laughs. If you're only looking for identical incidents, you'll see 4 totally unrelated events. But your child, they're experiencing one continuous campaign of intimidation. The third mistake is assuming that if there's no physical contact, there's no repetition, especially when phones and social media are involved. A kid might only hit post on a humiliating photo one single time, but that image, it stays visible. It gets viewed, screenshotted, shared, and commented on all day long. A single online act creates repeated ongoing harm, even if the original sender never lifts another finger. So we have to ask not just how many times the person acted, but how many times our child is being actively exposed to that harm.
So what exactly do you do when the incident is digital? Well, here is a crucial tip. Capture the evidence, but do not circulate it. Don't repeatedly reopen or share the harmful content while you're trying to document it. Just quietly take some screenshots, grab the URLs, the dates, the account names, and make a note of who can actually see it. Then store that evidence securely. This way you can report it through the proper channels without causing any more embarrassment or exposure for your kid. All right, let's talk about how this all translates into actual conversations with our kids. A lot of times, we panic and ask, do you think they'll do it again? But asking a child to predict the future, that's stressful and honestly, totally unreliable. Instead, try weaving these 7 questions into your chat calmly. Ask what happened right around the incident.
Check if there are any threats about snitching. Ask, can this person easily get to you again? Was there a power advantage, like age or popularity? What's still continuing? Who actually saw it? And crucially, ask what would help them feel safer next time. Just remember, keep it gentle, okay? This is a conversation, not an interrogation.
Now, if your head is kind of spinning right now, do not worry. We've got a concrete roadmap for the first 24 hours. First things first, regulate your own emotional reaction. If you panic or get furious, your child might just shut down. Second, check for immediate safety. Are there injuries or threats that need urgent help? Third, document the facts using your child's own words. Fourth, protect the evidence, but please do not send your kid back in as an undercover detective to gather proof. And finally, agree together on what the next step is, giving them some choices on who to talk to if possible.
When it actually is time to contact the school, you want to be factual and focused on prevention, not theatrical. You really don't need to storm in making demands for public apologies before the facts are even in. Instead, try a script like this. My child reported the following incident today. It involved these behaviors, this power difference, in this indication it may continue. Please confirm the immediate safety plan and how recurrence will be monitored. It is so incredibly effective because it simply reports the event, identifies the risk, and asks for a concrete plan, all while keeping you looking completely reasonable and level-headed.
And what exactly are we asking the school to do anyway? Well, prevention really just means removing the conditions that create a pattern. Early action should always be proportionate. We aren't talking about expulsion for a first-time rude comment, right? We're talking about maybe increased adult presence in a specific hallway, assigning a go-to staff member, or honestly, maybe just moving some assigned seats. The goal is simply to stop a single event from snowballing into repeated bullying just by tweaking the environment.
After you've reported it, you enter what I like to call the 7-day watch plan. For the next week, just check in daily, but keep it super brief and breezy, Just ask, hey, anything new? Anything still bothering you? Anything that helped today? You're basically just keeping an eye out for direct behavior, rumors, online stuff, or any potential retaliation. If nothing new happens, amazing. That means early adult attention actually worked. But if it does continue, well, you now have clear, documented evidence of a pattern to take straight back to the school.
So, I really want to leave you with this final, empowering question. Are you waiting for proof, or are you preventing a pattern? You honestly do not need perfect certainty or some official bullying label to take your child seriously and protect them. You just need enough curiosity to investigate, enough calm to avoid escalating things, and enough persistence to make sure one bad day doesn't become a devastating pattern. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer today. Take a deep breath, you've totally got this, and I'll see you next time.